Hello guys, welcome to Programming Knowledge. This is the first video of GUI programming using Tkinter in Python. So in this video, we'll be learning about a brief introduction to the subject of graphical user interface programming in Python. So when it comes to GUI programming in Python, Tkinter is a default toolkit available or a default library available to build some robust small-scale applications in Python. So for example, creating a registration form and attaching it with a database, those kind of applications. So Tkinter is not the latest and the greatest, but there are other options too, like PyQt5 and WX Python for creating GUI applications in Python. But when it comes to the simplicity and the ease of use, Tkinter is far more easier to use and create rapid applications. So there are multiple bindings available for Tkinter for commercial as well as small scale applications. So this is a overview introduction to Tkinter Python programming, and I'll just show you a small example how to create a simple registration form, which will be shown in the later videos in Tkinter. So this is the basic structure of how to create a basic window using the Tkinter module. So there are multiple ways of importing Tkinter. So as Tkinter comes in default library, you don't have to go through the process of installing via pip. So there are multiple ways of importing Tkinter. One of them is import Tkinter, that's it. And the second one is from Tkinter import the widgets you want. For example, if you want a entry widget or a label or something like button, you need to specify that besides import. And the last one is import Tkinter star. So when it comes to star, it will import every widgets within the Tkinter library. So from Tkinter import label. So here we are importing label within the Tkinter window. So initially we need to take a variable, for example a root variable, which is inherited in each and every widget we create within the Tkinter window or Tkinter application. So here we are taking, for example, a root or a top application and storing Tk, T capital T and K in brackets. So that root variable will be inherited in every widget we create within the Tkinter window. For example, if you are creating root variable and storing the Tkinter object within that variable, we need to inherit over here. For example, here the label none. Here we are inheriting none, that is the root in our case, and we are naming the label as hello world. So here is the example. As you can see, hello world is a label. If you don't use any kind of placement argument such as pack over here, so pack is one of the inbuilt method for placing that widget within the GUI window. For there are other methods too, such as place and grid. So what pack does is that pack will, if it doesn't take any argument, it will take the default argument center and place the widget in the center. And when it comes to place and grid, place is based on XY coordinates, and grid is based on rows and columns. So it will be covered in further videos. And this widget main loop. So when executing the Tkinter and creating the window, it is necessary that to type in main loop to execute that window in a proper manner. So these are the events and bindings for mouse and key events. When it comes to mouse based events, such as on clicking a button or entering something into an entry field, you can use these events with the function which you need to get executed. And when it comes to keyboard events, these are the events bottom over here. Return is for enter and key, shift up, etc. So this will be covered in the later videos. And this is the event handling. When it comes to event handling, a small example such as if you want to, there is a window created with a button which says that quit. For example, if you quit that, if you click on that button quit, there is a function called squit which is used for quitting the or exiting from a Tkinter window. So if you click that button, the Tkinter window will stop executing and that main loop will be ended. So these are the binding functionality which you can use in Tkinter, which will be also covered in the further videos. So these are the some examples of widgets which you can use within the Tkinter applications, like example canvas, check buttons, radio buttons, frame, menu buttons, panel score bar, etc. So this is the basic outlook of a widget if you create it in Tkinter. So let me just show you a small uh, form which I've already created. So as you can see over here, this is small registration forms with multiple widgets such as label, entry field, this is radio buttons, list box, and checkbox, and this is the button submit. So in further videos, we'll be looking at event handling in more depth when it comes to mouse events, such as if you click the button submit, how it interacts with the database and etc. So this is how you can create a general widget application in Tkinter. So some other advantages of Tkinter is that it is accessible, portable, and available, as you can use those applications in almost any operating system available. And the approach of creating the application in Tkinter is more in a layered format. For example, initially you create a root that is a parent object of Tkinter, then creating the widgets and ending it to the main loop, etc. Some of the drawbacks of Tkinter is that when it comes to handling multi-threaded applications, such as when you want to execute something, or example, if you want to execute uh, two events at the same time, it shows an error and it doesn't handle those kind of situations very gracefully. And when it comes to building large applications, it takes time to execute, so it is a bit slow. So this is the link for downloading the Python, the latest version, that is 3.7.2. It is a prerequisite, and in the next video we'll be looking at how to set up Tkinter in PyCharm and how to generally create a window in the further videos. So thank you. Hello guys, welcome to Programming Knowledge. So this is the second part of the series with a GUI development using Tkinter in Python. So in this video I'll be showing you how to set up the PyCharm IDE. So there are multiple IDEs present in Python, like Visual Code and IDE, but the PyCharm is much more preferable. So I'll just show you the steps how to download and install PyCharm IDE. So open up your browser and type in PyCharm. Click on to the first link. So there are two versions available, the professional one and the community one. So when it comes to community, it is free, it is lightweight, and it comes with all the basic functionality which a developer requires. But when it comes to professional one, you get more features such as database connectivity and more AI completion of the code and etc. So it is a paid one, but the community one is a free one. So go and download, click on to community download and of PyCharm, as it is free and you can build the basic application using it. So click. As we have already downloaded the PyCharm installer, I'll just show you the installation process of it. This is the exe file. So click on to next. So you can create provide a 64-bit and association with, just click on to these checkboxes and go to next, install. So the installation procedure is completed. Now click on to run PyCharm and finish. Do not import anything. So this is the first window, and click on to the light or based on your preference. Click on to which one you want. Featured plugin based on based on your preference you can download or enable any of these, but I'll just choose on to the start using PyCharm. So this is the part where the installation procedure is completed, and from here now you can proceed on to how creating your project, opening the pre-existed file within your computer, and so on. So after doing the installation process, we get this window where it shows that create a new project and open an existing project. So directly we'll click on to create a new project, name the given project as demo. So it will create its own virtual environment of that entire project. It will take a second or two. So the virtual environment is being created for the project demo. Now right click on to the demo project file folder, go to create file, Python file, name it as demo or anything. Okay, so I've already configured the settings for the Python, or I'll just show you simple program and then demo file. So as you can see, the output demo is being shown. So the virtual environment and the PyCharm setup has been created. So if there is any issue in configuring the Python environment, you can just go over here in settings and go to project demo, the interpreter. This will be automatically detected when the PyCharm is been set up. You don't have to worry about anything else. It will automatically detect the default IDE, which is the Python present in your system. So click on to OK. Because it is already set up, you don't need to cancel. And here will be the file name, or you can directly click over here and run demo, and here is the output. So this video showed us how we can set up PyCharm environment and how we can create a project and run basic Python program in it. So in the next video we'll see about how we can create a basic GUI and a button, that is a widget, in Python, and further on we'll move into more depth of how we can create a more robust GUI in Tkinter. So thank you. Hello guys, welcome to Programming Knowledge. In the previous video we learned about how to set up the PyCharm IDE and ensure that how we can run Python programs into it, and we did run a simple print method and it ran successfully. So in this video we'll be learning about more into Tkinter, how to create a basic window, provide a resizable option, creating labels, and creating a basic button into a Tkinter window. So let's begin. So open up the IDE and type in from Tkinter import star. Then we'll create a basic variable for the Tkinter object, that is Tk, and save that Tk into the window variable, which will be used in every widget which will be created in the Tkinter window. So let's create, so in here we'll provide a geometric option for resizing the window. So window dot geometry and wide 300 into 300. This is how you provide a resizable window option for a Tkinter window. Let's provide a title to it. So these are the basic inbuilt attributes which you can use or import for performing certain tasks. So for title we'll provide welcome, and let's run the window by calling the main loop. So this is the code for creating a basic window and with a title. So let's run. So as you can see, this is the size 300 into 300 and the title is welcome. So let's get into creating widgets that are labels and buttons. So label 1 is a variable name where you can store the label which you want. Label is a kind of inbuilt method in Tkinter, so you can just provide label as a widget name, and window is the first argument which you pass in the label which you want to create. So in whatever widgets you create in Tkinter, you need to provide the Tkinter window widget as a first argument in that particular widget. So window and providing a text welcome to Tkinter, and let's provide some fonts. Font is equal to Arial, comma, sorry, providing some size option that is 16 and bold. You can provide also italic, and yes, you can pack it over here now, pack, etc. So this is how you can create a basic label in Tkinter, and we can run this. So as you can see, this is how you can create a label into the window and provide certain font styling, that is the Arial, the font style, the size, and bold, italic, whatever you want. You can also provide foreground and backgrounds to it. So we'll just provide over here FG is equal to blue, and BG, that is the background, is equal to background considered as yellow. So this is how you can provide a foreground and a background to the label. So let's see. Wait a minute. G and blue. Sorry, it should be in quotes. And let's rerun. So as you can see, this is how you can provide a foreground and a background to the label which you have provided into the window. So this is the blue is the foreground and background is of yellow. Now you can provide something called as a border, that is a relief. I'll just show you. Relief is equal to solid. So these are the some of the styling options you can provide to a label. Let's rerun this. So this is how you can provide a solid solid option to or a boundary to the label which you have created. It looks pretty good. And so now we'll come to the positioning the label. So over here, pack is to basically a default. It takes a default as the top of the window. So there is pack, there is grid, there is place. So place is something more reliable. So place has two arguments, that is x and y, where here will provide x is equal to, so it basically works on the coordination system, x and y axis. So x is equal to 110 and y is equal to 110 as well. So let's see where it is placed. So it went outside the window, no problem. So this is how you can position the label as well. So let's reduce the to like around, or reduce the font size 16, make it as 12 and provide it 110 and rerun it. So the font size is reduced. So this is how you can basically position the label by place and pack and etc. Now let's see the option of pack. What are the options provided within pack? So I'll just lower this down and type it as label 1 dot pack. So there are different options provided in pack as well, like fill is equal to both. So both here determines that x and y both are occupied entirely, and will provide pad y is equal to 2, pad x is equal to 2, and let's run. So this is something is what we get when we use this fill option. We can also use expand true. These are certain options you can use for styling. Sorry, expand is equal to true. Let's rerun this. So as you can see, it is entirely occupied with the label. So these are certain options you can use while creating a application. The most preferable one is the place, as you can place the widget wherever you want and it is more configurable. So I'll stick on to x is equal to 110 and y is equal to 90s 80. We'll provide it as 80 and run that. So it is something which is more preferable, so use place. There is also grid and column options such as grid row is equal to 1 and column. So this is how you can provide rows and column is equal to 1. So let's run this. So it went based on the rows and columns position. So this is not more preferable. Let's do it as back, so it will be in center. Run it. So this looks more decent, and let's jump on to the button part. So create a variable for button. Button1 is equal to button. Provide the argument window. Provide a text demo, and you can provide the styling options over here. Copy. The styling options are almost similar to the labels, so you just need to copy it. And let's keep the foreground as white and background as brown. And let's provide this solid and remove the quotes. So there are certain options, I'll just mention it over here. So red is one of them, and place the button dot place x is equal to 110 comma y is equal to 110 and rerun it. So as you can see, a button is created. So I'll just show you the more options. Those are, just comment it over here. Group, comma, rigid one, sunken, and raised. So these are the options you can provide over here in relief option. So I'll just provide this raised over here, and let's see what is the output. So there is certain changes made within the button, some styling within it. Let's provide group. Let's see how we can rerun this. The properties of the button has been changed a bit, so there is not much of a change. So basically this is how you can create a label, a button, and provide some styling to it. So this is the code for it. As per your preference, you can provide the styling options to it. And this is it for this video, guys. In the next video we'll look into more options like labeling and move on to the registration part. So thank you. Hello guys, welcome to Programming Knowledge. In the previous video we learned about the basics of how to resize a window, how to create a label widget and a basic button. So In this video, we'll be moving on to creating a simple registration form. This is the first video of it, and we'll begin with it. So this is from the previous video. So this will be a basic code required for a basic window. So let's change the title to a registration form. Okay, let's resize it 500 into 500, and first of all we'll provide a function to it. So function print enter, and we'll just print something into the console. And another function for quitting out of the window. So define exit 1, and we'll be using the exit method. So these are the two functions which we'll be calling when we click a particular button within the window which we'll be creating, that is the login and exit option. So let's move on to the GUI part. So first of all we'll create a label. That is label 1 is equal to label, provide the argument window comma text is equal to first name, then the first name, it will be registration form. It will be like a heading kind of thing. Then we'll provide some styling to it. Relief is equal to solid, comma with option is equal to 20, comma provide some font is equal to Arial, '19, comma and bold. Okay, now we'll use the place dot place x is equal to 90 and y is equal to 53. Now we'll create another label 2 is equal to, we'll just copy it from here, paste, and we'll just change the text to the first name. And we'll just change the size, that is 10, and we'll just remove this Arial or just keep it, no problem. Then label 2 dot place x is equal to 80 and y is equal to 130. The positioning is actually depends upon the user preference, so change it as your requirement. I will just use another label, that is for the last name. Copy this entire thing and paste it over here, and just name that variable as 3. Change over here to say it as last name. Solid, we don't need solid for this, so change or remove this solid for both of these labels. So let's see how it looks. So as you can see, this is a basic, so the spelling is wrong, I'll just change it over here. Registration for last name. Okay, so let's see, where is the error? So for the first name, we'll use it as for the last name we'll use it as 180. Let's check this again. So as you can see, first name and the last name, two labels are created. The 9, it will be more linear. So these are two labels. Now just let's create two buttons. Sorry, B, or just name it as B1 is equal to button window, the first argument, comma, the text which you need, that is login, and provide width to it. Width is equal to 12, and provide some foreground and background. Background is equal to brown and foreground is equal to white. And we'll just mention a new argument, that is command, to call the function which we have already created over here. So these functions, that is print and exit, will be called in this button method. So provide command is equal to, so what we are looking over here is that we want to now print something in the console, that is over here, by clicking onto the login button. So just place the print method, that is like this, and just place the button somewhere. The b1 dot place, that is x is equal to 150, comma y is equal to 380. Around 380 will be good. And let's create another button for exit. Just copy this one and paste. Rename it as 2 and just change the coordinates of it. So for here we'll provide x as 280, so it will not overlap. 80, and change the command over here too and mention it as exit 1. So you don't need to provide these brackets when you mention these commands into the button. So this is the code, and let's see what is the output. So as you can see, first name and the last name are the two labels, and here we have created login, and sorry, this is also login. So let me just change this. And name it as quit. Sorry, quit. So let's rerun this. So now it is correct. So these are the two buttons, login and quit. And let's see what actually happens when this button are clicked. So when I click login, the console comes with an output that is demo Tkinter. So the code was correct, and let's quit. Press on to the quit. So the window is been exited. So the purpose of this video is fulfilled. And so in this video we learned about how to create a basic structure of a registration form with a banner, labels, and two buttons. So thank you. Hello guys, welcome to Programming Knowledge. In the previous video we learned about creating a basic window, providing labels, that is the first name and the last name, and providing two buttons to a specific window. So moving on further, in this video we'll be learning about how to provide entry widgets to a window, that is for the first name, last name, and also we'll be including two more labels, that is the date of birth widget label and the country, and the country will be specifically a combo box, so a drop down list kind of thing. So let's begin. So, and also we'll be seeing how you can add an image to a Tkinter window using the library pillow. So follow with me, and initially you'll have to install, if you don't have pillow, that is a image processing library in Python. So follow from pil import images comma image tk. So in Python you can use image in a label using this specific format, sorry, image, right, and comma, sorry. Okay, so for installing pillow you just need to type in pip install pillow, that's it. So this library pillow is used for image, adding an image into a Tkinter window. So this is how you can install pip install pillow in Python. So type this, and now you'll just have to use a variable, that is image, or you can say it as image is equal to, let us say it as image dot open. So here we are specifying the path of an image that which we are going to use in the Tkinter window. So bracket and photo is equal to image tk dot photo and image. So here we are passing this particular variable, that is image, in this argument. So now we'll be specifying the image path. So for that we are taking an image that is a PNG file. So copy this path and provide it over here as an argument slash. So or you can just create a folder and add within that the folder with add the image within that folder, so it will be easier. You have to mention the image name with the file extension and provide the name team mail. What is the name? I guess tmail.png, right? So mail.png and close the bracket. So this is how you can mention a path of an image into a variable and passing passing this as an argument in this variable photo, right? Now we'll be taking a variable that is for a label. So lab is equal to the label and image is equal to the photo, and we'll be using pack for keeping it in the center. Sorry. Yep. So this is how you can place an image within a Tkinter window. So let's see what is the output. So it is providing an error and telling it as okay, so it is over, the error over here is just photo image, so you just need to provide photo image. So it is like an inbuilt method for passing an image into a variable. So let's run this. So as you can see, this is the image which we are using and passing it into this particular variable. So this is how you can use an image within a Tkinter window via the library PIL. So now coming on to the widgets, entry widgets. So we'll be using basically 2 entry widgets and 1 combo box. So let's dive into it. So entry underscore 1 is equal to entry root and providing a text variable. So I'll just show you what is the use of that variable. Basically end and just provide a place to it. So underscore 1 dot place and x is equal to provide it as 240 and y is equal to 242. So let's see what is the output. So fn is not actually mentioned. So what is fn over here? So fn over here is something called as a variable used for fetching out the details from a text widget, an entry widget. So just mention fn is equal to a string variable. string var close. So now let's try and see. So you can see this is an entry widget with a text variable fn, right? So what this string variable will do is that it will fetch the input given by a user. For example, I'm typing some name, that is demo. So what the variable fn will do is that it will take the text demo and use it somewhere when it is required. So it will be more clear when I'll just go through the following. So now I'll be using this entry widget for two more or one more, I guess. Okay, so just copy down this, copy, and provide the same for the last. Change the value, that is 2, and we'll change the position to. So for entry 2 it will be 240 and 282, right? So let's see the value for this is also it, and for the last name will be taking as a variable ln, and same like we did for the first name, we'll take ln is equal to string var, right? Okay, now we'll be using a combo box. So just dive into the, so now I'll just show you the output and we'll get, so one more entry field we need, that is for the date of birth, right? So let's make another entry field, copy that one and paste it below this, rename it, and change the position, that is to 320, right? Rerun it and see what is the output. So it looks good, and now use a combo box. So I'll just show you how you can use one, right? And also provide a string variable like we did over here. So for the date of birth we'll be using DOB, right? The variable, and just mention it over here, the DOB is equal to string var, right? Okay, so now we'll be getting into the combo box, right? Okay, so for a combo box, first of all just create a list. So here we need a list of countries, right? So for that just create a list of countries, that is list1 is equal to provide Nepal, comma India, those are strings, so quote, comma Canada, okay. So this is a list of countries, and the second procedure is drop down list. So here we are taking this variable drop list is equal to, so the inbuilt method for, or the inbuilt argument for creating a drop down list or a combo box is option menu, right? And same procedure, root, comma, the variable name, comma, and the list. So here we are looping through the entire list. So list 1. Okay, now drop list, or take it as a var dot set. So variable is something that it's like a placeholder for the widget, right? So you'll see in a second. Select country and just provide a position to it. List dot config and provide a place. X is equal to 230 and y is equal to 370, right? So let's see what is the output. So before that, we'll just create the same for string. Var is equal to string variable. Okay, save it and run. So you can see this is the output. A drop down or a combo list looping through the list provided, that is the list 1. Nepal, India, you can add as per your preference and provide a position. So this is the actual method of creating a combo box in Tkinter, a drop down list, and providing a placeholder for it. Okay, so now what we'll do is that we'll be using this variables which we are creating over here, that is okay for DOP, and now one for var is equal to string variable, right? Don't need to mention it twice, but it looks decent. So define provide the name, print so take a variable first for getting the input from the first entry widget, that is for the first name, fn dot get. Now we'll take second for the last name, ln dot get, and for where or the DOB, date of birth, is DOB, just name it as different, we dot get. Okay, then provide where 1 for another variable and we'll provide where dot get. Okay, now we'll print the values, that is print. We're using strings over here, so if you're familiar with that, it's good. Full name is the first and second, right? Similarly, we'll do this for so just come over here and DOB1, var1 your country and your age. Okay, so this is a function that which we have created to print the things from the widget to this console, right? So let's see whether it works or not. We'll be using this particular function in this button. So comma command is equal to print. So let's see whether it works or not. So I guess there is no errors, but let's see whether it prints or not. Demo test, provided date of birth. This is some random digit, so don't worry about it. Providing India and click to the sign up button. Let's see what is the output. So the code works. So whatever we typed in the widgets, that is a demo test, the date of birth and the country is printed over here. So your full name is demo test, so it is concatenating the first name and the last name. Your age is this as we typed in, and your country is India. So this is how you can use this entry widgets to print out things into the console, or you can even use it in the database, right? And yeah, so this is the output as shown over here, and this is how you can use an image into a Tkinter window. This is a method, and yep, that's it for this video, guys. In the second video, we'll be learning more about different widgets like checkbox and radio buttons. So this is the output for this video, and thanks for watching. Hello guys, welcome to Programming Knowledge. In the previous video, we learned about how to create a basic window and providing image to it, providing multiple widgets, that is, and a combo box, entry widgets, labels, and buttons, etc. So I'll just show you the output of it, and we'll move on to the next one. So this is what we have looked in the previous video. So if you are not familiar with it, go ahead and check that out first, or else you'll be lost. So in this video, we'll be looking into checkboxes, radio buttons, and the Tkinter message box. So let's dive into it. So for message box, we'll just type in Tkinter, import Tkinter message box. 1 minute. Okay. So Tkinter dot message box. So it appeared, and what will we do? So this is how you can import a message box, and let's create some checkboxes and radio buttons, right? So for that, you will have to create two more um, labels, that is for gender and the language. So we'll just dive into it. 1 minute. So for the label fourth, we'll be using, okay, we'll just type in over here. So use this label, copy and paste, and rename it as programming language, and place it somewhere like around 95 and 420. D, right? Now we'll be using another label, so paste it that again, and we'll be using as a gender for radio buttons, and we'll also place that somewhere different, so 459 maybe, and okay, so let's see what is the output. Okay, so it is a bit messed over here, so as you can see the buttons are overlapping. Okay, so we'll look into that first. So what we'll do over here is that we'll be changing the position of the button. So we'll just move down and change the position of the buttons. So we'll just change 515, that is 130, and 515 and 280. I guess this should work. So now the buttons have gone a bit down, and we'll have to arrange the programming language label. Okay, so on the label, okay, for the programming language, okay, so 95, right? We'll just change it around, how about 85 maybe, I guess. Let's check 87, and let's rerun this. So as you can see, it is a bit aligned, but we have to place it in the perfect position. So let's check 80. Okay, now it looks a bit better. So okay, so the labels are done and the buttons are placed at a good position. So let's dive into creating the widgets, right? So for creating widgets, create a variable c1 is equal to check button method of Tkinter root comma text is equal to provide Java comma the variable that which will be using is equal to c var c1. So for the check button 1, right, underscore c1, being more specific it is good, or else it can get a bit messed up. Dot place, so place x is equal to 235 and y is equal to 420, right? Okay, let's see whether it works or not. Save and rerun this. So I guess there is no output. See, I don't know what is the issue with this. Okay, so there is some error. So the variable c1 is showing an error. Okay, so as we have done before, just mention it over here. So where underscore c1 is equal to a string where, right? Now it will work, I guess. Okay, so as you can see, this is a checkbox for the Java. Okay, now we'll create another one for Python. Okay, let's go down a bit. So copy this one, paste, and change the text Python change another C2, and of course change the position, or else it will be disoriented. 90 and 420 will be good, and we'll go top, at the top, and mention the C2 one, right? var C2 is equal to the string variable. Okay, so this is the same as the entry widgets. We'll just fetch out or get the check box we are using. Save. So these are the checkboxes. Okay, now we'll just get into the radio button for the gender. So for radio button, R1 is equal to the radio button root, and we'll just provide a text to it, is equal to male comma, and a variable for it too. So variable is equal to radio underscore where, and we'll be using font, or we don't require font, just provide a variable for it. So here the value, a argument, will be using a argument called as value. So whatever value you put into the radio button, it will be used as an object. For example, if you want a value as a male, so you need to pass it as a string. So value is equal to, mention it as a string, okay, comma, sorry, dot place, and same as x is equal to 230, comma y is equal to 420. Okay, we'll do the same for the female one, and female, just change it over here, R2, we have to change it over here too. So the value for that will be female, and place it like around 90 and 60, around 60, right? Okay, that's good. And we'll be using this variable radio var like we done for the checkboxes, radio var, and mention it at the top. So we'll be seeing like let's go to the top, and we'll be providing it over here, sorry. So radio underscore var is equal to a string, right? So for the checkboxes, what I've noticed is that we don't need to use the get method, but eventually we'll be using that. But for that we have only two specific one, that is Java and Python. So just mention it, it will be better. So for the var C1 we are using Java, and for the C2 we are using Python, right? Okay, so let's print out that also. Print the language which we'll be using. So just before that, create a variable var is equal to, sorry, var3 is equal to var underscore C1, right? So we are getting C1, but we don't have to use, you can use it based on your preference, but here C1 is already provided Java and C2 is also provided as Python, so you don't need to get it. The value is Java and Python, so that, and for var, so that's, I guess that's for var 3 again, and var C2 for the Python. Okay, so so print that too. So what we'll do over here is that we'll just pass 3 probe language is, and for that, for the gender, we'll be using your gender is, and sorry, we have not used another variable for the radio button, but we'll be using as var 4 is equal to radio dot var dot get. Okay, so it looks good, and we'll be changing it over here as 4. So this is the code, and let's see what is the output. Okay, so the gender is for the male is missing, so let's check that out first. Okay, what is the issue over here? So I guess there is some kind of placing issue, but I can't see one. And okay, I got this, but okay, so for the radio button male, we are overlapping it, I guess. So it is with the 230 and 260, I guess. Okay, so we'll just provide this as 260 and rerun this. Okay, now that looks good. Okay, so that looks good, and yep, it looks good. So now we'll just, okay, so now we'll just show the output, whether what it prints on the console. So demo score user, provide some random digit for the date, select the country, is Python male. So there is no output, and there is no error, and the output is been printed. So your gender is male, the programming language is Python as we have selected. So first name demo user concatenation, the date of birth is this, the country is this from the ComboBox, programming language is Python, and the gender is male on clicking the sign up button. So for this, and we have one more thing left, that is the message box, right? So for the message box, you just need to type in the method that is Tkinter dot messagebox dot show info, not error, info, right? And provide a title, welcome, comma, user, that is also a string, so mention it into a string. User is successfully signed up. Close it, and let's see what is the output again. So this is how you can provide a Tkinter message box, and it will be more clear when the output is shown. So we'll be using another variable. So user name, provide some random digit, select the country, Python, female, and let's see, sign up. So this is a Tkinter message box. So as you can see, what we have provided over here, that is this first argument is the title. Sorry for the spelling mistake, but it is okay, but the purpose has been served. This is the title and this is the user content. So user is successfully signed up, okay, and this is the printed output from the widgets. So in this video we have learned about the message box, Tkinter message box, showing an output into it, and how you can use radio buttons and checkbox within the Tkinter window. So this is it for this video, guys, and thanks for watching. Hello guys, and welcome to Programming Knowledge. In the previous video we learned about the Tkinter message box showing information, and how to use checkboxes and radio buttons and print their user given outputs in this console. So this is output from the previous video, and in this video it is a continuation. So in this video we'll be learning about how to create menu bar basically. So this bar, how to create that into a Tkinter window. So I'll just show the output of the previous video. So how you can put a menu bar over here. So let's get into it. So for a menu bar you just need to type in that is create a variable menu is equal to menu. This is a inbuilt option, so it will come as an default, passing this variable which we have taken and root.config, okay, and menu is equal to menu. So this is like a verifying that the variable which we have taken for the menu widget is equal to that variable itself. So menu again, okay. So these are two lines which you require just to create a bar over here in the top of the Tkinter window widget. So now to create multiple options within it, I'll just space it down a bit. Okay, so create a multiple options within that. Create another variable menu, or create a sub menu, sub m1 is equal to sub m1 is equal to the menu itself, the main parent object menu, and it is this the function which we are going to use right now is a inbuilt method. So menu dot add cascade, okay, and providing a label to it. So label is equal to what you want to provide, file, right? So usually over here you can see file, edit, view, navigate. So this file is over here, the label name. So file, and currently we're not providing any functionality to that, so just close it. It's already, and if you want to provide something within that file menu, use sub m1, which is the above variable, dot add underscore command, which is over here, and label label is equal to exit. So I'll just show you the output so it will be more clear. So there is some error. So I was mistaken over here that the widget variable which we are using should have the parent Tkinter window. So here instead of menu we are using root. So it gets attached to the main Tkinter window. So let's run this now. So as you can see, the output here is the menu bar, but you can't see the exit option right now, right? As it is not there. The file has been created, right? Okay, so we'll just move on to the method, that is how you can add that exit, which is over here, into or below the file. For example, this is the main, and if you want to add new project or something like this exit, how you can do that, right? So just create menu as an argument for that and pass sub m. That's it. Now you'll see the output. It will be more clear. So file and exit. Okay, so you have created a successful menu option. Now we'll just copy this one and create another one. Okay, just rename it. We'll be using it as 2 sub m2. We'll also change it over here as 2, change over here as well, and name it as option, and say it as about. So let's see the output. Okay, over here we have to add it as 2. Now that is good. So we have created two file options, that is file with exit and file with about. So this is basically how you can create a menu widget or a menu field within a Tkinter window with the sub options as well, right? Okay, so now basically we need to provide a command, so that is for exit. So if I click on to exit, I want to exit the entire Tkinter window, right? So comma dot command is equal to exit. Okay, but the exit method is down over here, right? Just cut this and place it over here at the top, so it will detect now. So the error is gone, and for same we'll do this for about comma will provide a command is equal to abt. Now we have to create a message box, that is define abt, that is the function which we have mentioned over here in the about command, and just use a Tkinter message box to show how it works. Dot message box dot show info and provide the title as the first argument. Welcome to authors, comma, this is demo for menu fields. Okay, so this looks good, and let's run this now. Alright, but I guess we have some kind of error over here. Show info. Okay, so what is the error, right? So I'll just look into it and I'll just tell you what is the error. So over here we just don't need to do this. This is fine, I guess. Okay, so the error has gone. So these are the two options, that is file with exit and menu option with about, right? So let's click to exit. So as you can see, the window is exited. So the command which we have provided, that is exit, has been executed successfully via this argument command. And let's see for the option for about, option and about. So the output is successful. This is the title, welcome to authors, and this is a demo for menu fields. Okay, so this is a message box, Tkinter message box. So this is a basic approach of creating menu fields within a Tkinter window. You can use as many as options you need and create sub menu within it and provide commands to it using this method. So it is just like a button with this command approach. So this was it for this video, guys. In this video we have learned about how to create menu fields within the Tkinter window. Yep, thanks for watching. Hello guys, and welcome to Programming Knowledge. In the previous video we learned about how to create menu option in a Tkinter window. For example, the one which I've created here in the previous video, I'll just show you the output. So this is the menu field which we created with basically two functionalities. So for about, it is showing the message box, and for file exit, it will exit the window. So we'll move on to the next step, that is creating a window within a window. So for example, after a successful registration, I want to redirect or get a new window, and which basically is a login window. So after a successful registration, I want a new window about login, that kind of situation. So in here I'll just show you a small demo that how you can create a window within a window in Tkinter, and using another button. So right now there are only two buttons, that is sign up and quit. So for this we'll be using another button, that is a login button, and let's create one right now. So at the bottom, so these are the two, sign up and quit button. Copy one of them and rename it as a login button. So it is not basically a login window I'm making here. I'm just showing a demo that how you can create one using the approach which I'm telling you right now. Okay, so rename the text, login, keep it as it is, and for right now there is no command. Okay, and we'll place it at 2 and 8, and the y-axis will be around 60, so 60. So let's see the output. So as you can see, it is in between of this sign up and quit button. Okay, so this is the button which we have created. Now what we'll have to do is create a function which can be used for opening another window. So create a function define and name it as second wind colon, and similarly like the one which we have created, that is a, first of all we need to create a window object, that is when is equal to tk. Okay, then put a title to that second window dot title, and name it as welcome to second window. Okay, now we'll just provide a simple geometry. We'll just provide it at I guess 250 and x 200. So this is like a height and the width, and now we'll just provide a label. We'll just copy, or 1 minute, no problem, we'll just name it label underscore 02 02. Okay, then provide a label. Now when it comes to the second window, you don't have to provide the main root window that is over here, because it's for that main window. Now we are creating entirely new Tkinter window, so for that you need to use the root or the window which is provided over here, which is taken as the parent object for the Tkinter frame, right? Okay, so we'll be using window comma, now text is equal to registration. So this is basically a label. Sorry for that, I'll just place it inside. Okay, registration successful. Because the spelling is wrong. Okay, or you can just say it as successful. Registration completed. Right, okay, so this looks good, and we'll be providing relief is equal to solid, that is for relief is equal to solid, comma, and we'll just provide font is equal to area. I'm mistyping things, right? Okay, so we'll just come over here. We'll just provide a parentheses area, then comma 12 comma bold, right? And we'll close that too, and we'll just place it. Just cancel this one, it is creating an obstacle. So place bracket x is equal to 30 and y is equal to 70. So it is a small window, and we'll also create a small button underscore 02 or 01, whatever you can name it. And we'll just copy the button down from down here. Don't want to type it. Okay, so okay, so second window, right? So just paste it over here, change the position, type it as 80 and 0. Okay, white. Okay, no problem. Okay, this is good. This looks good. Okay, so okay, now here we have to change the window to window and just rename it, or you can provide it as demo button, no problem with that. Again, and with okay, so now this looks good, and now we'll just go down to the login button over here and provide that command, comma command is equal to second win. Okay, so let's run this and see what is the output. Okay, so there is no error right now, and we'll click. So as you can see, this is an entirely new window now with a label registration completed and a button demo. So right now there is no functionality to that button, but I'll just provide a simple message box to it. So these are entirely two different window. So for the purpose of advancement to this entire registration form, one can create a registration form with a certain validation and can redirect it to the second window and provide some entry widgets like login name and user password with two entry widgets and a login. So this is a basic idea how you can perform. So these are two different windows. So this is how you can perform one, and I'll just provide a functionality to that button. So let me just type in here command is equal to about maybe. I'll just check whether it is up or down. Yep, it is definitely up, I guess. Okay, so let's see whether it works or not. So login, this is the second button, and let's click onto this demo. So as you can see, it works. So this is the second window, and we have provided a simple function that is a message box to this demo button with a message box, right? So as you can see, this is a basic approach of creating two separate windows from one same window. So over here I have created three: sign up, quit and login, and by clicking login this particular button opens, right? So this is it for this video, guys. If you have any more implementation to this existing approach, you can use it for further advancement. And hello guys, and welcome to Programming Knowledge. In the previous video we learned about how to create a registration form and take the input from the user and print it into the console. So in this video we'll be seeing about how to take that data and store it within a database. So for that you need, first of all, is a SQLite 3 browser, sorry, a SQLite 3 database, which is a inbuilt database provided in Python. So just import it. Normally you don't have to use any pip procedure, so just import it. And we have a previous function that is a print ENT, so comment that out and create a new function that is function database, and in here we'll write everything regarding the database procedures. So just follow along. Everything will remain the same, just you have to add another function. So and okay, so now take a variable name 1 is equal to fn dot get, and this function, this inbuilt function get will fetch the value from that widget, enter widget. Now you can use last one is equal to ln dot get, same. You can just copy this, then you can take it for the date of birth dot get, then create another variable for country is equal to where dot get. Then you can create two more for programming languages of your choice. Gender programming is equal to where underscore 2. Don't have to use get method in this because you have already mentioned over here Python and Java, as you can see. So moving on forward, we'll be using it for gender now. That is a radio button, radio where get. Okay, so I guess we are done with fetching details from the widgets. Now we'll just write the procedure for the database connectivity. So use a variable of your choice. I'm using con is equal to SQLite 3 dot connect. So usually this is a procedure for connecting with the database, and in here we'll be mentioning the database name. For example, in here I'm typing form dot db. Now with con and colon, then he will be using cursor for these are the basic procedures we need to perform. Is equal to con dot cursor. So you will find this in the documentation of SQLite 3. These are the mandatory procedures to create a database along with a table and etc. And now from here we'll be starting to create a table for that cursor dot execute. So this statement of line will be used to create a table. So follow along, execute, and so everything will be capital and create table if not exist. Okay, and now the table name will be student. Then use a bracket, the column name first, name, then we'll be providing a data type to it, text, then we'll be using last name. Then here just we are providing the column name, nothing much, with along with the data type. These are the basic SQL procedures. And for date of birth, text, comma, for country, text. You can it should be in uppercase. And then for programming column, you can mention any name you want. And text for that. Then for gender, and here we'll be finishing off the table, and that's it for the table. Now we'll move on to the inserting values that we are fetching from here. For example, for in here we are taking the variables name, last one, date of birth, and we are using the get method to get that data from that widgets which are being used in the Tkinter interface. So follow along. Same procedure, we'll be using cursor dot execute, and for the insert, using insert into student, the table name, and mention the columns that you have used above, last, as same as this, like this, last, DO, DOB, and etc. And last, then we'll be using a DOB, then country, then programming, comma, gender. Okay, so I'll just check everything is right. Okay, everything is right. And just remove this and use values. What values are going to get inserted into that table? So values, then we'll be placing question mark based on the number of columns. For example, here there are 1 2 3 4 5 6. So here are the empty values. So based on the number of columns, that is name, last, date of birth, country, and programming program and gender, that is 6 columns. We'll be using 6 question marks, and stop, and we'll be saying the variables that we are using to fetch the data, that is over here. So we are using this variable to get the data from those widgets. Just use that. One, comma, date, comma, country, comma, globe. Make sure that the variable name are same. Okay, no problem. Comma, the gender. So 6 widgets and 6 entry we are getting from that get method. Okay, and okay, so I guess the creation of the table as well as the insertion of values within that table student is done. So this is the function used for inserting the data into the database. One more method is left, that is we need to commit whatever we have done. So just use this commit method to save all the data which is saved into the database, and use this function database into the button that is over here, that is a login button. So here we are using the login button to execute that database program or the function. In here I'm also using the key binding method in Tkinter. So for example, if I press enter, instead of clicking onto the mouse, you can also use enter key to execute that command. So it's I'll just save it and run. So I guess there is no error. So let's enter some data. Country, yeah, Python, and mail. So there is some error. Let's see what is error. So this let's check what is the error we are going to get. So the issue is over here. Programming P is capital over there, and we have used this. Okay, so I guess it is done. Save this and execute again. Okay, so let's re-enter the data. Let's see if there is any error or not. Just put some random data. Still there is some error. So the number of empty values is 5 and we have 6 columns. Okay. Let's use one more. Let's save and try again. Okay, it should be done by now, I guess. So Sam, let's put some random data again, and 12 for okay, country. Okay, so I guess the database is created. We'll just enter more data. Sammy, let's put some random data. Rex, just change and just okay. So we have created the table and inserted values within it. So let's check the table. So for that you can use this. So here is the form.db. So to check whether the values are within the table or not, use DB browser for SQLite. Use DB browser for SQLite and open database, and you can go to desktop. Okay, this is the database. Okay, and so as you can see, this is the table student, and we have the columns over here with data types. So as you can see over here, these are the columns: name, last, date of birth, country, programming, and gender. So this is data as we have fed through the inputs of the widgets of Tkinter. So the procedure of creating the database is done. We have successfully inserted data within it. So this is it for the code for this video will be available in the description, and this is it for this video, guys, and thanks for watching. Hello guys, and welcome to Programming Knowledge. In the previous video we learned about how to create a registration form and feed that data into a database using the SQLite 3 package, which is present already in the Python programming language. So in this video we'll be seeing about how to create a color chooser, a slider, and canvas. So we'll just bind everything into a small application like a paint kind of application, so you'll get an idea how those things work together. So follow along with me, and the code will be available in the description below. So first of all, from Tkinter import star. So this is the basic procedure. So Tkinter also provides color chooser on the scale and everything pre-built inside the Tkinter module. So you just have to import it. So the second line will be from Tkinter import Tk / color chooser. Now the approach we'll be using over here is kind of creating a class, a constructor, that is init, and within that we'll be creating different functions for creating, or sorry, the clearing the canvas and increasing the width of the pen and etc. So you'll just get to know the object-oriented procedures too. So first we'll create a class, that is a main class. Now we'll be using a constructor, that is a init method. If you know Python programming language, you might be familiar with it. That is self, master, and now will be self.master is equal to master. So this is for the Tkinter window. We are just making sure that that window is executed properly, and yep. So this method, that is init method, sorry, I just forgot over here it. Okay, so now good. So this particular method will be having default parameters for that entire small application which we are going to build. So we'll see. So the foreground and the background color will be provided here. So color underscore foreground, sorry, okay, underscore foreground is equal to black. Self dot color underscore bg, that is the background of the canvas, that is white. Now okay, we have a small mistake over here. Self, okay,
Okay, so now we'll be providing the coordinates x and y for the pen we will be using in the canvas. Self dot old x underscore x is equal to none. So it is, we are mentioning it as none dot old underscore y same as x. Now for the default pen width we are providing as 5, and width is equal to 5. Okay, now dot widgets. Okay, so now the following two methods are basically used for the motion of the mouse, the trackpad, which we are going to draw some line or a shape or something like that. Over here it will be like this, and okay, not over here below. Now self dot c dot bind. We'll get over there, don't worry. So what is C, right? So you'll get over there, don't worry. And one, these are the key bindings and the mouse binding which are used for the motion of mouse. Motion self dot paint. And again we'll be using this, copy this, reset. I will just change the method into button press, release. Okay, now we'll be moving into the motion of the pen that we'll be using into the canvas. So paint self comma p colon if self dot old x and self dot old y underscore y colon. Okay, self dot c dot create underscore line. So initially we'll be using the canvas for just drawing lines, so there will be no specific shapes to be drawn, so we'll be starting with a basic line. So this is the function used for it. Dot old x self dot hold y, comma e dot y dot x, ex and ey, comma the width is equal to self dot pen width, self dot pen width, and we'll be filling it self with a color, self dot color, that is a foreground. What we'll be drawing into the canvas will have a color, right? So that is for that color, right? Now foreground and comma cap style. These are some of the build functions using Tkinter. So documentation is the one to be preferred for getting into details. And smooth, what kind of texture you will get when you draw something on that canvas, right? So smooth, show. Okay, so I guess there is no error till yet. Now self dot hold x is equal to ex. These are coordinates matching to that pen. Y is equal to e comma y. Now we'll be using the function reset along with self. So self is like an object of that variable, comma e underscore self hold x is equal to none again. So what reset will do over here is that it will whatever which is drawn within the canvas is like erased. So that is the function self dot hold y is equal to none. Okay, so we're done with that too, and we'll be moving on to change. So now if you want to change the width, so change width, change w, comma self, comma e. Now self dot pen width is equal to e. Now we'll be using to delete everything. Now clear self dot c dot Now for changing the foreground and the background, we have two functions, change foreground and change the background. We have to create, we need to create that. So for change underscore foreground, self dot color dot, so what we are using over here is foreground, right? So it should be color chooser dot ask color self dot color dot color foreground and 1. Now I choose this same function for background. So copy, just change into background. Now we'll be using multiple widgets, that is the scaling the canvas and creating menus for it within a single function. So define draw widget, the one we have mentioned up earlier. So just let's check whether it is right or not. Draw widgets self dot control is equal to frame. So we'll be creating a frame with that application, and self dot master of pan x is equal to 5, and add y is equal to 5. Now just provide a label for label dot pen width. So what I'll do over here is that I'll just use the code which I've already uh, created. It will be more quicker, and I'll explain you through what is going actually. So pen, this is basically label, and a pen width, then forwarding a font to it. This is something which is already been covered earlier, so I don't need to take time and just come to a conclusion early. M18 dot grid and row is equal to 0 comma column. Now for slider, what we'll do is that these are the procedures for creating the menus in slider. I'll just show you and get what is actually going and how we have created that. So we just went till here. Now this method specific is used for creating a slider and slider width and adjust providing a position to it within that, providing a position to it. Now control. Now we are creating a canvas side set. This is the method for creating a canvas. Basic width, height, and what will be the foreground background of it. Now this entire thing is just for creating menus, and this method is just for creating and executing the main Tkinter object. So I guess the code is done. It will be available in the description, so you can clear that from that link. Let's run. So now it will run. So it was within the class, so that is why it was not running. So the main object, so we have an error over here, the widget line 2. So I guess the error is gone, I guess, and let's see whether okay. So here's the output, and so on the menu which we have created over here, I will show you. So this is the menu, that is the brush color, background, options, um, and this is the width. This is a slider for the one we have used over here. The method over here is scale. This is for the slider, and this is canvas, the white, and I will show you how you can draw. So this is a basic canvas for it, for drawing pen. You can increase the width, and color chooser, that is brush color. You can use orange, okay, and so this is how you can use the scale widget to increase and decrease the pen width. And let's clear everything out. So canvas is cleared, and so that is it for this video, guys. So in this video we have covered entire thing, that is the scale widget, the canvas widget, how you can use the color chooser, which is this, to create a small application, and I'll show you the background and the foreground. So if I want background as dark green, just select OK. So as you can see, the canvas background has been changed. So entire code has been over here above, and black. And if you want to clear it, and this is for the slider to increase and decrease the width of the pen. So okay, and this is it for this video, guys, and thanks for watching.
Hello guys, and welcome to Programming Knowledge. In this video, we'll be seeing about how to create a small game called Tic-Tac-Toe using the module Tkinter in Python. So let's begin. So initially you have to import Tkinter with star, with the message box is required as an alert approach, then the Tkinter object and the title, right? Now I'll be showing you there is a lot of similarity in the code. So the approach which I'll be using over here is like I've already created the game, so I'll just use that code and show you line by line what is going within that code. So if you have any problem within it, you can um, comment down. So this is the game, and end. Now initially you have just imported Tkinter, and you have imported the Tkinter
message box and provided a title to it. Now we are taking multiple variables for getting the input from the user. It is in a string variable, that is for x and zeros. Now here we are using entry fields. So I'll just show you the output quick. And run, so you'll get an idea. So this is the entire game. So these are the two entry fields which are being used for player 1 and player 2. Now for the click you are using a true variable, and for flag. Now this function is basically used for when the entire game is finished. So I'm talking about this disable button entire method. So when the entire game is completed and once a player wins, there should be no button clicked after it. We'll get it in a minute. So this is importing getting string variable from the user. This is the entry widget for player 1 and player 2, and this is for the disable button. Now and now it comes to button click function. Okay, so button click. So whenever a player clicks on a button, it will print the character x and zeros, and based on the probability of checking whether the which user has won, which I'll be showing you bottom, it will print the output. So button click false, and for the player 2 0, and for button text x. So this is basically like if you click the button, it will print x into that button, and the condition along with it should be true. So if the player 1 clicks on a specific button x, the condition for it needs to be true, and based on the multiple combinations which I'm going to define it below, based on that it will predict the winner. So this is the message box, and this is generally this button click method is generally for clicking the button and determining who is the winner. So now coming on to the part where we are looking into how the player is chosen. So this is an entire combination. So this function check for win is for determining who won the game basically. So here the combination is in this format. I'll just comment it over here, 1, 2, 3 in a matrix form basically. Step 4, 5, 6 and 7, 8, 9. So I'll just run this, and so as you can see over here, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is the combination for based on which the player gets selected for victory. So these are just the multiple combinations of if and if a statement with else along with end. So it will check whether this x, that is 1, 2 and 3 is coming in a row. For example, if the player 1 has 3 x's in 1, 2, 3, so it will define the probability that that player, the first player, won. So based on that, there are multiple probabilities over here in if-else statements, and it will also check whether all the fields are filled and no output is generated. For example, if nobody wins, it will check and it will tell you that there is no combination of x and zeros within that entire matrix, and it will declare it as a tie. So this is the function for it. Now coming on to the next one, creating the widgets. Now buttons, we have already mentioned it above. This is generally for creating the button, which is nothing much, and positioning into a certain position. So here we are using lambda functions for each individual button and its function. So I'll just tell you. So player 1, these are the labels for player 1 and player 2 as I've shown over here. So these are the labels and these are the entry fields. And one by one we are going to create a button. So for when it comes to lambda function, so here, so button click, so each and every button we are giving a particular method to it. So lambda function is basically used for individual functions for each button. So for example, player 1 clicks on X and player 2 clicks on 0, so it cannot be seen for each and every button. So here the purpose of lambda is this. So there is nothing much in it. You just have to create 9 buttons and position into a grid system, rows and columns 3 by 3, and run the main loop. That's it. And code for this video will be available in the description below. So if you have any query, you can go and check it out over there. So I'll just run this and show you how it works. So you can put in the name, for example, Sam and Rick. So 1. Okay, there is some error. Let's see what is the error. If button clicked, X is equal to true. So let us see where is the error. Okay, so I can see over here is some error. So just check. What is the issue? So what is the issue over here is that X is equal to 1 and 2. Okay, so button click true. So let's run again and see that the output is gone. Okay, so the output is gone, and let's see. Sam and Eric, and let's click. Okay, it works. X 0 X 0 X. So as you can see, the player 1 won. So the player 1 over here was X, Sam wins. Now the function which we have provided above, that is the disable button. So after once you get done with the game, you can't click any button, so you have to restart it again. So this is how it works. Now let's see. Sam, Eric, X0 X0 X0. As you can see, the second player won. The line of 0 is complete. So this is how you can create a simple game tic-tac-toe. Based on this, you can provide multiple variations and suggestions to it. So this was it for this video, guys, and thanks for watching.
Hello guys and welcome to Programming Knowledge. In the previous video we learned about how to create a simple game that is tic-tac-toe in Python Tkinter module. In this video we'll be seeing about how we can create a simple calculator within Tkinter. So the procedure of building the application will be similar to that of tic-tac-toe. I'll just show you the code and the certain portions of the code, and so let's begin with the initial and so first of all we have to import Tkinter, provide geometry, place it into a variable, and provide a title. Based on your preference you can also use different approaches to it, and provide a background to it. So I'll just run this much of code and show you is there any error or not. So there is no error until now. Now moving on forward, we'll be using text in, that is a string variable for the entry. Whatever we are going to feed within the entry, that is for example a number 2 plus 2 or 4 plus 4 divided by 2 or something like that, we'll be using that. So text in is basically just a text input which we are providing into the entry field, and a empty variable, that is operator variable. Now we'll be creating our first function, that is the button click function. So I'll just tell you what actually is happening within this function. So click button with a parameter number. So whenever you click a singular button, for example 1 plus 2, it is not a single button, right? 1 2 and the plus button is different. So for this basically we are using lambda for each individual button. When we will create the widget button, I'll just show you in a minute. And then if you want to show that in a format, for example into the entry field 1 plus 2, so you need to show that input into that entry field. For that we are using that function by taking the input from the user when the user clicks a button. So it is just concatenating to inputs given from the user, that's it, and placing and setting that into the operator. So the operator here will hold that value. So this is the click button function with a parameter number in general for whatever button is been clicked into that calculator. Now moving on to the next. So for each evaluating operators, for example button addition, subtraction, multiplication, etc., we'll be using individual functions. So equal button here is basically used for evaluating whether, determining, and also determining what is that function it is. So for example if the operator is performing, or the user is performing some addition operation. Operation is being performed such as addition. So the evaluation of evaluator, that is an inbuilt operator, uses inbuilt procedure for determining that it is an addition operation. So here operator will hold that addition operation, so that is plus. I'll just show you plus. So you'll be not seeing over here what is actually going on, but it is being performed. So for such individual operations, there is an individual function for it. For example, here this function is for addition, right? So the eval operator is inbuilt within Python, and it will determine what operation is being performed over there. That's it. Now similarly we'll be creating it for subtraction, division and multiplication. Okay, div and sub. Just let me check. Okay, so it is fine. Now for multiplication and division, now for division or multiplication, oh sorry, division, div. Okay, okay, so it is almost done. And for this function is basically for clearing the entry field and setting it everything to 0. So here just it will CE button for clearing the entry field. I'll show you in a minute. Now the next is we'll be creating entry field and a bunch of buttons, nothing much. Just copy this down. The procedure for each and every button is similar. You just have to change the X and Y coordinates for placing the button based on your preference. Division, clear and main loop. Okay, so I'll just explain you what is actually going on. So this is the entry field where every input is being taken, and this is the text var for taking the input from the user. Now each button here is carrying an individual function. So for the function which we have created above, that is the click button with a parameter number, we are using that function for each and every button which we have created here. For example, we are using just the lambda similarly to that Tic-Tac-Toe Game. So for each and every individual button that we are using click button with now. So for example, if the user clicks one, entry field gets 1 as an input and place that button over there. So the procedure is same for each individual button. You have 5, 6 and etc. And for similarly for the operators as well, addition, multiplication, subtraction. And this button is for SC. This function, that is a command clear, it will clear the entry field, basically nothing much. And this equal button will produce the output. So save and just run. And make sure we have no errors. Yes, we have no errors. So this is the interface. This is the entry field. This is the label which we have created at the initial. I'll just show you. So this is the label calculator, and we are packing it at the top, so that is why it is at the top. This is the entry field which we have created just above the first button, and these are the each individual numbers with the operators and the clear function. That's it. And the clear. Placing the buttons based on your preference is up to you. You can place it anywhere. And yeah, I'll just show you some calculations. 1 plus 4. So this, I just wanted to tell you that 1 plus 4 is basically been carried out within this function. So we'll just basically concat 1 and 1 plus 4 into the entry field and just show you that this is been written, and with the help of equal button you will get an output. So okay, we have some error over here. So what is the error? Div. Okay, so div so let's try again. 1 plus 4. Okay, so you have 5 over there in the entry field, and let's try clear this out. So it is empty now. 5 minus 8. Let's see some negative outputs. Yes, we have that too. 3 into 3, 9. Okay, it works. 5 divided by 5, divide by 5. So we have an output. Clear. So basically it works. So this is the calculator which we have created. The approach is almost similar. The widgets are almost the same. Just don't everywhere when you create a widget, the position of the button has been changed. That's it. And rest is all the same. So this is it for this video, guys, and thanks for watching. Hello guys, and welcome to Programming Knowledge. In the previous video we learned about how to create a calculator application in Tkinter Python. So now moving on forward, in this video we'll be seeing about how you can integrate a Matplotlib graph into the Tkinter GUI. So let's begin. Initially we have to import and make sure that you have the latest version of Matplotlib installed within your system. So let's begin. Import Tkinter from matplotlib dot backend backends dot back okay, so back kdn underscore Tk. These are the sub modules present within Matplotlib to get your graph connected with the Tkinter interface. So this is one. Now you can use figure, this one, and for navigation these are the if you have used a Matplotlib graph, there are certain navigation options present at the bottom of the graph. So those are that toolbox 2, and yep, and that's it. Now from Matplotlib dot back ends dot back basis. So we have to back end underscore basis. Yep, Matplotlib, you don't have to use this one. Wait, there might be an error. Okay, so this is fine. Import key press handler. Now from matplotlib dot figure import figure. So now we'll be importing using NumPy. I'll be not going into deep in NumPy. I will be not teaching much of NumPy. The purpose over here main is how you can use that graph into Tkinter. That's it. And there will be some mathematical calculations done using NumPy. So just follow along as NP. Now creating the Tkinter option, the object. Now providing a title to it, underscore title, and embedding, and okay, so embedding Tkinter, whatever you want, that is up to you. Okay, so now figure is a variable. I will be using the figure for forwarding the canvas to it. Figure size is equal to 5, 4 and DPI. These are the certain operations done for showing the wave or the graph that is being produced within it. I'll be not going that much into deep into Matplotlib because my purpose over here is teaching the embedding of Tkinter into the Matplotlib. So if you want to more in depth of Matplotlib, you can watch through the documentation of it. And I'll be using NumPy service. I'll be taking the file over here which I already have, and okay, so this is some math operation done using NumPy, and this is a sub function of matplot. That is, if you want to add a graph plotting based on certain operations. For example, here we are performing certain operations to produce that graph output, that is like some NumPy operations, and this is within the Matplotlib, that if you want to show your graph within a canvas of a Tkinter, you use that. Basically it's like a canvas, and on that canvas you are using that graph. That's it. And placing that canvas into a certain position, for that we are using this back top, so it will be at the right at the top of the window of Tkinter, and using a navigation toolbar which you already have in the Matplotlib. It will be clear in the output. I'll just show you in a minute. Now you'll be creating a button that is on press underscore key. This is the function press event underscore print pressed dot format and the key. Okay, now key underscore press, now the variable dot handler event comma canvas. So we are just basically merging the canvas and the graph and binding it together with the toolbar. Okay, so this is done, and canvas dot mpl dot connect with key underscore press underscore event closing comma and on this key event. We have to check for errors too, right? So press event. Yep, there is no error until now. Now we should be moving on forward, and now we'll be creating a button within this function. Quit root dot quit root destroy. So this is the function which will be used for quitting the entire window and binding it with the button. Button is equal to Tkinter dot button and master is equal to root text is equal to, you can provide any text to it, and quit, and just provide a command to it, that is command is equal to quit. Okay, and just packet dot pack side is equal to Tkinter dot bottom, and just run the main loop. Tkinter dot main loop. Okay, so I guess that should be working fine, and let's see. Yes, we do have an error over here. So okay, there is 2 times we have taken the import, so let's just remove one. Okay, there is gone, and let's run again. On press key is not defined. Okay, okay, so the function over here is that's fine. Now let's see. Okay, so this is how you can integrate a matplotlib graph within a canvas. So the background is a canvas, and within that canvas we are plotting the graph. So it is basically a combination of a canvas and a graph within it on top of it. So these are the navigation options. So I'll just show you where it exactly is. So this toolbar. Navigation toolbar.2k is for that option, and yep, this is the button, placing it into the bottom, and if I press on it, it quits. So this is how you can integrate a Matplotlib graph into Tkinter. And this was it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching.